Good evening, everybody. It's Monday evening. It's been a while. It's been almost, it's been 12 days or so. It's been so long since I've had 11 back-to-back days off. So, again, I appreciate your patience with me being gone. But again, I posted several posts saying I'm gone. Some people are like, oh, man, where'd he go? You got to wonder these days. You know, some of us guys just disappear in the middle of the night. Adam saying the garage looks good. Yeah, it's coming together. I'm at the point where I've got the electrical box in the garage completely wired. And now I've gone through the crawl space and I've got the other part of the wire. I'm just waiting on the breaker. So I'll hook that breaker up later this week and we'll get some air conditioning out there. And I'll be able to work at night because I'll have lights. So we are in the home stretch, that's for sure. And then I'll be doing a lot more morning stuff from my home office on social media. So we'll see that arena heat up, and I'm sure people are looking forward to that. But, you know, trying to get around the Facebook algorithm, that's been the most challenging thing the last couple of months because it seems like that algorithm is constantly changing. I know some of you don't quite get notifications on here, but, again, that's the big challenge. I'm putting together a presentation that I'm doing tomorrow. And I'm kind of going through and brainstorming everything that's really happening in this industry. And it's happening very, very quick and fast. And you're going to see more changes by the end of the year here in the Huntsville market from not only our TV station, but another TV station in town too. And again, it's pretty crazy what's going on in the whole industry. You've got other stations buying out stations, and then you've got people dropping affiliates. That hasn't quite happened here yet. But again, that's part of my presentation I'm putting together for a fine group of folks at UAH tomorrow. Just kind of looking down the path and having done this almost 30 years now, just seeing how everything has totally changed. And I know a lot of jobs when you are at a certain place and you're like, I've been here 20 years. Usually your workload doesn't quite increase all the time, but in the TV business, the media, it's just a constant state of, I don't want to say overwhelming, but there are so many platforms out there, so many different platforms to get our broadcast out. And now we've got more and more newscasts, more and more weathercasts, just like what you're watching here. It's called Weather Extra, and that's what it is. It's extra weather, extra time for us to explain what's going on. My thoughts on AWN, I believe you mean Allen Media, maybe? AWN. I'm not sure what AWN is. But, and again, AI is really popping up. And here's the thing, is I'll make some AI, artificial intelligence, chat GPT graphics and stuff like that sometimes to share on my personal page. And some people think it's real. And I'm seeing other meteorologists posting images that are actually created by AI, and they don't understand that it's AI. And it's, again, oh, yeah, I don't really want to talk about those guys over there at AWN. I think it's going to be extremely challenging to try to be hyper-local and be there every day. I mean, here's the thing about weather. Weather wins in every market. Weather's a big deal, but when the weather's not really all that bad, I'm just being on vacation the last 11 days, I didn't check the weather at all, to be honest. And I was just like, okay. So again, it's those red letter severe weather days that it's pretty a no-brainer. People are going to watch the weather, but the harder days are finding people that aren't watching the weather. Like on a day like today, I honestly, again, I'm working myself out of job here, but I honestly think that, you know, there's no significant reason to check in constantly on the weather on a day like today. We are in that pattern where it's fairly quiet, you know. We don't quite get along, so I won't be contributing to whatever the name of it is. Anyway, we're kind of going down a rabbit hole, aren't we? Are we going to climb out or not? So let's see how many people are on here anyway. Yeah, 85. So anyway, I'm telling you, the whole thing is changing. In the next 5 years, it's going to be so much different than what it is now. And even looking back in the rearview mirror, the broadcast industry continues to change. One thing I'm also seeing, more and more special weather statements, more severe thunderstorm warnings, more first alert weather days, more weather aware days, whatever you want to call it. Everyone is screaming to try to get your attention to watch whatever they're doing. And the weather's probably the number one thing. So, all these corporations are like, well, why don't we just throw more weather at you guys? So we've got weather extra tonight. Let's get into the forecast here. I'm sure we got something to talk about. Yeah, I did mention we've got a lot to talk about, actually. We've got changing weather. And I love this time of year because we're constantly trying to look ahead and find that first real cold front. That's something to tune in for. And that's coming in. Thanks, Nikki. One of the things is we've looked for that first. Occasionally, it's kind of like you're out fishing. You're a kid. You got your bobber, and you got that one bluegill that keeps taking your worm, and that's kind of what the model guidance used to be like. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. My news director told me today, you're kind of like the guy in the catbird seat. So again, I'll keep that. I'm just going to do me, but I'm going to do more of me once I get my studio built at home. You'll see more of that. But we get this first cold front. Sometimes it's a real tease. The models are getting better, and that's where I mentioned AI. AI models, artificial intelligence models, are getting better. They're learning really fast. So the forecast accuracy will be increasing. Even though AI may have some contribution to it, it still needs the science for that. It still needs the research for that. And what we're looking at is a cold front coming in next week and then another one coming in behind it. So we're going to get a real true taste of fall. I know we already had a false fall earlier, and that was due to this cold air damming that came in, and it gave us the easterly wind, the more clouds, and the clouds really did it to us. But what's happening is we're going to get an actual feels like fall cold front coming in next week. We're far from that right now. And you always want to caution, that's the other thing about social media is once something gets hot on social media, everyone tries to mimic it and copy it, and you get the same kind of graphic in different forms. Winter outlook. To be honest, I saw somebody post, I think they were talking about the polar vortex, and they were talking about it's shaping up to be a little different. Now, I honestly haven't done any research on that. I don't have any time. But basically what that person was saying was that we may have an early fall and an early winter. So based on what I'm seeing pattern-wise, it wouldn't surprise me at all that we go right from this really hot summer to a nice pattern. But that's probably going to come at a price. It's probably going to come at a drought condition. So we're slowly starting to see drought conditions come back. And no need to panic. It's just starting to get drier out there, and you may have noticed that. And the heat doesn't help, especially this time of year when it doesn't rain much and it gets really hot and dry. Today kind of started drying out. It really hurts out there. Here's the latest on Erin. I haven't talked a whole lot about Erin because there's probably going to be another storm behind this one that may be worth talking more about, may have a bigger impact as far as the U.S. goes. Now this one here, the winds are now down. This is the latest update. This just came out, now down to 125 mile per hour winds. So it is a Category 3 storm. A weakening has been expected. It's really hard for these kind of storms to maintain this intensity. The track, let's see, this will be the latest track here. It has not changed much. But I've been seeing some forecast guidance that has some 50-foot waves associated with this storm well offshore. But these waves continue to propagate towards the east coast, and they create all sorts of havoc. Usually, we talk a lot about, beach erosion and stuff like that. But this may do more significant damage to some of these Outer Banks homes that are up high above the ground, especially if we get some of these bigger swells that come in. Oh, thank you. Sissy says she's glad I'm back. Yeah, it was really weird being off for that long. I contemplated retirement. Nah, I didn't. It was just nice to not have to come into work, to be honest with you. But here's the hurricane kind of churning north of the Turks and Caicos, and this is going to stay well east of the Bahamas, so it's not really going to have a direct impact on the Bahamas, but they've got rough surf out there. So again, this is just one of those storms that's just close enough to give you some fits. Around here, things have been really quiet this evening. We did have some heavier thunderstorms over Jackson County earlier today. We did have some isolated areas of wind damage, had some power outages. Again, these are associated with these downbursts from these storms as they collapse this time of year. Tomorrow, your Tuesday, a lot like today. I think we're going to have a few more thunderstorms, but overall, I think we really got to wait till Wednesday before we see scattered thunderstorms, and then Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday kind of looks wet. So rain chances increasing with each passing day. We do need the rain out there. Saw some of the cotton plants today. The crops looking pretty good out there. Keep up with the new data. But as you see there, our rain chances will start to come up. 3-day forecast, as rain chances increase, I think the storms are going to fire up a little earlier during the afternoon hours, and then we'll see temperatures not warm up as quickly, but it's still going to be muggy out there. We'll still see a heat index around 100 degrees. Now, coming up after this break, we're going to talk about that fall cold front. Hang on, it lasts 1 minute. All right, we are back. Let me transition here. So we'll fade into that. There's your 10-day forecast. This is what you've been waiting for. Finally, a 10-day forecast that doesn't have 90 degrees straight across the board. Each day will get just a little bit cooler, but we still have kind of a heat threat out there. Heat advisory tomorrow again, but it won't be any worse than what we had today, to be honest. 94 Wednesday, and then we're looking at upper 80s through the weekend. Saturday, if anything, I think that chance of rain may be increasing. As somebody mentioned, that it seemed like it was hotter. Today was actually the second hottest day of the year. But heat index wise, right? Got to throw that out there. And what that did was basically put it around 105. But we have topped out around 111 earlier this year, heat index wise. And everything's a different factor because you've got no wind out there today, basically. Direct sunlight, again, that's going to burn you up. Plus, a lot of people are ready for fall. So this is going to be it'll be false fall, but it's going to feel like fall. No doubt about it. Next Tuesday, I think Tuesday morning, we wake up around 59 degrees. The dew point temperatures later next week, maybe next Thursday and Friday, the high school football games next week, probably looking like they should, maybe for late September, early October. So the temperatures are going in the right direction, and some of you may actually be in the 70s with these. So that's kind of the first glance at this. I don't think we're going to quite reach the 40s for lows yet, but the dew point temperatures may get into the 40s. Again, that has a whole different feel to it, and a lot of you guys are going to be ready for your pumpkin spice latte. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. We kind of went down the rabbit hole early on, but that's what I do sometimes. So again, spread the word. We got 48 weather extra in the evenings, Monday through Friday, 9:30. See you guys later. Take care.